Good night, everyone. John tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J. Spirit is Divine. I'm also the unsolved missing person. First, I'm gonna talk to you about um retrieve stranded luggage, another lost luggage. American man, he flew from Costa Rica to Miami just to retrieve his stranded bag that was left behind, which he said had thousands of dollars drawn near in it. So he had plenty of money. What he had in the suitcase was worth thousands of dollars. Now his name is Robert Gentile. Now his bag got stuck in Miami after his flight was canceled in June. So this had been a messy summer. Travel season with flight delay and cancel and lost luggage. Chaos, so much chaos. Been ever since the Essen. You've been having just so much chaos at the airport. You know, make you want to just drive to go where you need to go at to make sure your luggage is safe. So everything had been in chaos with losing luggage, flight delay, and cancel. But I hope everything get back on track soon and everyone um need their luggage to get wherever they get to. To change clothes. You have everything in your luggage. So I just hope everything get back on track. 'Cause I know they short a staff. So I hope they can start doing better. With keeping up with people luggage. I just hope everything approved. So where people can they can keep track of people luggage. So that can be a scary thing because a lot of people travel with so much expensive stuff in their luggage. So I understand y'all short of staff. Everything is out of whack right now, but I just pray that everything get back on track. Because the people have traveled with a whole lot of expensive stuff in their luggage. So now we're gonna talk about crypto. Hackers drained nearly $200 million dollars from crypto. Start up and free for all the attacks. So hackers yanked almost 200 million in crypto from a Norman so-called blockchain bridge. Blockchain bridges allow users to transfer tokens from one network to another. So you got to be careful, because all this transferring and stuff like that. You got blockchain bridges. That's who deal with that. Network. So you getting it from one thing transferring to something else. And then some you think is that company or whatever, but you got hackers pretending like they're in charge of that, and also with the fees when you transfer, is somebody else is taking hold of the fees, going up on the fees and your transfer and all that kind of stuff. So we just have to be careful on that. Everything just so out of whack. Stealing mail checks out the mailbox. It just all kind of stuff is just going on. Losing luggage. So they become a prime target for hackers seeking to swat investors out of millions. So that's another thing. Crypto investors, you got to be careful. Investors also saying they got to be careful. They're thinking they're investing in something. They all the while they invested in something who was a crook. So we have to be careful who we invest with. You have to be careful when you're transferring money, because you got so many hackers out there pretending like they're owning a company. All the while, there is and then you got another company saying they're coming on somehow. Oh, I can help you and stuff like that, and get your money back, and then they turn around and take that too. So you have to read that story on that. It's just something that we just have to keep our eyes open, and we need discernment to deal with finance and investments and transferring and all that kind of stuff. That's when our discernment kicked in. So they are investigating. They will provide update for us soon. So Nomad is what known as a bridge, or tools that let users exchange tokens and information between different crypto networks. So you got to be careful. I know a lot of people and got involved with that crypto. And that supposed to be a whole lot of money coming to place. That's why a lot of people say they ain't never started receiving it yet. That because $200 million have been taken. So we just got to be careful. Be careful on your investment. And be careful when you're transferring. That's when it's getting taken, when it's being transferred. Like a company supposed to transfer to your account, or to your cash out. And that's how it's getting swept away through transferring. So they also use transaction that we're just talking about directly on a blockchain, uh, which can charge users high processing fee. Now I talked to you earlier about that. The fee. The fees that we're supposed to pay when you're transferring stuff. But they're going somebody the crook is going up on the fees, pretending like they're the company and charge us so much fee for for us to transfer our money to another activity. So there are a lot of activities happen all at once. So with crypto, for all to be careful transferring the funds to another. You're thinking it's a company that or but otherwise it's hackers, it's crooks. So their hackers is draining millions of dollars from crypto. People. That's why a lot of people ain't never saw receiving their money yet. And I know y'all done applied for that stuff way last year sometime. That because they're draining the money before you even get to your account. So when you transfer, and also watch out for high fees. So when you also transfer, because that's the crooks is all over. They adding up high fees. So when we have hackers draining money from crypto, we have someone stealing checks. We got hackers stealing the money from crypto. Then you have someone stealing checks out the mailbox. You know, it's just too much. So now we're gonna talk about this story about the taxi cab killed two teenagers. You know, and come to find out it's relatives. Somebody they know. And that's why sometimes you take you do things with somebody that thinking things bad is not gonna happen. So this story here, this person is in Texas. So Trails begin for Texas taxi cab driver. He was an honor killing. That's why they call it honor killing, because the family already knew about it and it was hitting him, knowing he killed these two girls. So the killing with two teenagers' daughters, and this happened in 2008. He was on the run for 12 years, and he finally just got caught. So now this taxi cab driver accused in 2008. He had been on the run for 12 years. He been on the run for 12 years, and he got caught in August of 2020. 36 miles northwest of Dallas. He was on FBI 10 most wanted list. And so when he was on that list, and when somebody saw him, they called it in. So his brother and his son, now this is family member, his brother and his son was arrested in Texas. Both of them were charged with honoring a fugitive and are now serving time in federal prison. So this family member, that's why they called this case the honoring killing. Because the family was hiding him. They didn't know what he did to these two girls. One of them was his son and one was his brother. So the murder warranted since 2008 federal shooting of the two Louisville high school students. Sarah and Amanda. Now they could call the death an honor killing, which a woman is murdered by a relative. So that she was there was kin to her. I mean, there was kin to these two girls. Which a woman is murdered by a relative to protect her family honor. That's why they name it honor killing. Teenager sister was found shot multiple times in a cab, cab um, outside in front of the motel. You know, and so Mervin, the owner of the motel in Dallas, serving, he called 911. The police found them after the girls called 911. See, the girls called 911 first. They called for help. They said they died. They said we need help. They said, oh my God, you know. And so the second call they got was the person in the motel. He called and he went to the car, to the cab driver car. Now the guy, he was long gone. He had one of the girls in the front and he had the other girl in the back. So now we see the girls call for help that they are dying on 911. Sarah said, I'm dying. Oh my God, stop it. My heart just went out for these little teenagers. When things happen to these children like that, the first thing they think about their mom. I want my mama. So the location of two bodies, another emergency dispatcher, 911 call an hour later. So it was Irvin from the motel. So sister bodies in the cab, one in the front passenger seat, and the other in the back seat. And he said it don't. He said he see blood. He said they don't look like they're alive. So whose name? So this is a horrible story. So many bad news I had to do today. I just had one good news with energy. You get a refund for $80. And these are teenagers. And I don't know why they was in front of the motel, but it was relative. Somebody they trusted. But he probably said, "Let me run up in here and get some right fast." And I don't know why he didn't. He gonna do that shooting right in front of the motel. You know, so they couldn't. They said the dispatcher was trying to get information where they was at. By you dying, you hurting. You don't fully, they ain't fully had the information on what the location was like. They're right off the motel, so you know, they couldn't get no information where they was at. So the guy in the motel, I guess he was scared. He waited an hour later to go to the car and call 911. So that was the second 911 call for the same incident. And that's when the police came out. Because they didn't have no direction when the girls called. They couldn't give them no direction or no address. You know. So we talked about the American man had to go to Miami to go get his luggage after he had a cancel flight, and that's how his bags got stuck in Miami. So I guess he was supposed to go to Miami. His flight got canceled. His luggage was still stuck in Miami. So he had to find out if his luggage was there and go to Miami to get his luggage. So and I just talked about crypto. You got hackers draining $200 million. That's a lot of money then to pull away from crypto. And that's why a lot of people haven't been receiving their money, and they've been applying for this here for a long time. So you got hackers stealing the money before it even get to anybody's hands. So, and I just talked about the cab driver who killed these two teenagers, which was kin to him. And also to arrest his brother and his son. Arrest his brother and his son from holding him. They knew what he did. But they held him and did not, call for no help. And you gotta realize when you're confident on keeping information of someone that's killed someone or on the run from the law, and you have them in your presence, you accountable for the action also. So you want to be careful or not having a fugitive under your wings, even if it's family. Because when it go down and they find out that you involved holding that person, you accountable for it too. So that's all the short news I have for you today. And y'all have a blessed night, and I see y'all on the next video.